like, nah, we just gonna turn this on. We just gonna have a real organic ass conversation.
Let's do it.
You know, this really been, a process to get to this point.
Yep.
You know, they wasn't trying to see us get together last week. Snowstorm hit.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
and
facts.
even today, bro, it's a whole battle just to get here. No bullshit. Like, I woke up in the morning. I was supposed to have woken up at like 6, set my alarms and anything. I don't know what happened last night. I just woke up. Oh shit. Hopped out of bed, threw whatever I could, and threw everything in the bag. And then I went to my car. Shit was under a bunch of ice. Like, I couldn't open my door, couldn't open my trunk. I had to like boil a bunch of hot water and just pour it all over there.
And that makes it worse because it's cold out.
Nah, it worked.
I said the same shit.
No,
I was
it
like,
worked.
yo, that shit should freeze in like 30 seconds. Like, what the fuck?
How does that make sense? If I have boiling hot water,
it's below 32 degrees.
Yeah.
Freezing point is below that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the moment you put
and it
water
freezes
on that
immediately.
shit, I'm not gonna say immediately, but within a minute, that shit should freeze up.
It'll
that
get
shit-
worse. So now you be stuck
feel
in the
me?
car.
Nah, that should work.
Hey,
That shit
it worked. We here.
We
you feel
here.
me?
Exactly.
We know what
Like,
we're supposed to do.
Yeah, we accomplished it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yo, we
Thanks
got
for having
AyyDot
me,
in the
man.
building. It's Young Rob on the mic.
My guy.
St. Yves to the left.
What's good,
To
gang?
my left this
Yes,
time.
Nate Nix and Tomo are not in the room today because we had to make the trip to New York to come see AyyDot in person
Yes,
right
sir.
before, he had a special day. And we're going to
You
talk
know,
about
you
that. We're
know,
going to talk
you
about
know.
that. Congratulations in
Thank you,
advance,
bro.
bro. And for the people who don't know, me and AyyDot, this is a relationship that goes way back. This is really my cousin. Like, this is
Blood.
really like blood. Like,
Yes,
this is
sir.
not just like cousin.
Yeah,
Like,
the Caribbean
your
cousin.
mom's best friend's like dog, kid or something like
That's
that.
family too, though.
Yeah.
That's family.
But it's not blood. It's not
Nah, I
blood.
feel
It's
you.
not
I
blood.
feel
You
you. I
feel
feel
me?
you.
But now it really go way back. This is someone who's been like a musical influence on me. Like, before I was
Appreciate
even
that,
doing
dog.
this shit, you were doing it. You know
Yes,
what I
sir.
mean? Like, before, when I was just a kid, you had your crumb teams.
Yep.
You was producing.
Yep.
You still producing.
Yep.
And now you were a rapper too, right?
I did. I rapped for a little bit. I rapped for a little
why did it
bit.
stop? What happened?
You know what I'm saying? It was like I was sitting there. I was rapping really before I was producing.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was making like crumb beats, but I wasn't never writing to a
Crumb
crumb
beats.
beat.
That's
That's the
crazy.
time. That's the
That's
time
the
we're
era.
talking
I'm
about.
hip.
You know what I mean?
I'm hip.
Yeah.
So this was, I started making beats 2008 when I started college. I had a roommate, like my first roommate, met him first day. He was a computer guy, and he was like, "Hey, man,"
in college, yeah.
in college, he was like, "Yeah, any program you need or anything, I got a site. I can get it. Let me know."
Oh,
And I was
Crack
like,
that
"Yo,
shit.
you can get me FL Studio." I think it was like version 8 at the
That's
time. or
Fruity
something like
Loops
that.
at the time.
Fruity Loops.
That's real fruity.
So he was like, "Yeah." 10 minutes later, passed me a flash drive. We were supposed to go out that Friday night, like freshman first weekend. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Fuck this
Nah.
shit.
I'm staying inside.
I was
That's
there
real
just
shit.
watching YouTube, like, yo, how do
I
I do
learned
this?
this
How do I
shit.
bring
Yeah,
in
yeah.
audio like from the
But
ground?
how different like was it really back in the day? Because now I'm sure you could go on YouTube, find all the tutorials in the world. Because FL, that's just standard now.
Yeah, it's
But
standard,
like,
yeah.
and what year is this?
This 2008.
YouTube is still like developing
barely
this
coming
up.
with it,
So it's
yeah.
like even trying to find the right people to even like teach you like the resources is scarce.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, but like there was always just enough
Mhm.
to like, even if it was just like the image line, like the company that makes FL Studios,
Mhm.
their tutorials
Yeah.
showing you how to import audio and how do I add my drum kits to the side panel so I could pick my own sounds.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
freedrumkits.net, shout out to them. They held us down early in the game, you know what I'm
Word.
saying? But it was that.
Problem
so I
is,
made-
niggas don't want to read the manual, which
Nah.
is crazy to me.
Cause
Because they got all the fucking
man,
answers
everything
right there in
is
front
Before
of
you
you.
could even get to the music part, you got to know like you got to
How
be
to
nice
use that
at this
shit.
program.
That's a fact.
Right.
Right. So at this point, like, who's the man who put you on? Who like gave you the flash drive?
It was just my freshman year roommate in my dorm. I forgot his
You
name.
don't collect his royalties now.
Nah.
I'd have at least like 5% on every AyyDot beat. That's me.
It's like, yo, I put
Like-
them on.
Like the shit wouldn't be without me.
Yeah.
So then,
that's
boom, let me
fact.
ask you this. How do you feel about piracy and cracking, like DAWs and shit
You
like
gotta
that?
Get it how you live.
Honestly, man, you get it until I always told myself, yo, when I make it in the music,
Mhm.
I would buy the shit.
Did you ever buy it?
Nah.
Nah, so I was about to, like you're at the point you financially stable.
Yeah.
You
I
still
could
going to-
buy it.
You could. But why? It's on the
But
internet.
nah,
Boom.
honestly, shout out to a homie of mine from Boston, producer artist Rilla Force.
Mm.
He got a license. I threw him like a couple hundred
Oh,
for
you-
his
his
license.
login.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He
yeah,
gave me
yeah.
the login, so now I can stay up to date with the the versions and shit.
You know what's
But,
interesting? So in what's it like senior year of college? I mean high school, right before college. I was asking you because I was trying to be a producer.
Right.
I was writing music, but I wanted to produce my own beats too. Very short-lived career, G Berto Productions. Very short.
Yeah, like my rap
short-lived.
career.
Exactly. And what's it called? You gave me the keys to your FL studio.
Yep.
and now he has those
No
keys,
bullshit.
bro.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
Actually,
so
no
now
bullshit.
all the
Transfer
beats
power.
you hear
Circle,
from
you know what I
St. E's,
mean?
like,
Real
yo, it's
circle
coming
shit.
from AyyDot.
Where my royalties?
Hey, man.
Always
Talking
some
about
royalty,
off camera.
right? That's a fact. That's a fact. And like for anybody who don't know who you are, do you want to give them a little introduction? Let them know like what you've done.
Yeah, man.
Would you say you a vet at this point? You know what I mean?
Nah, I'm still
feel like-
early in the game. Like, yeah, like, you know what I mean?
But you
I
put
started,
your time in.
I have put my time in. I've been producing since 2008. I think in like 2011 is when my computer crashed and I switched from crump beats to like making rap beats.
It took you to
Right.
that point to start making crump
Bro,
beats.
yo, like, I mean, like,
Crump
we
was still alive in 2011? Nah.
yeah,
I
I mean,
don't
maybe
know.
it was 2010, but like, you know, I mean, we was
He
still
wasn't trying to let
crumping.
go. He was like,
Nah, I was in the bag. I was Soldier Raid,
yeah?
man, Raid fan. We, you know,
Yeah.
I was like in it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But then like we started rapping more. We started like me and the homies, we had the group called Star Boys. We started rapping and
remember that
writing. We
shit.
have like 4 mixtapes. At this point we had like 4 mixtapes out. And then like my computer, but we were still dancing. You know what I mean? So then like when my computer crashed, I forgot what happened. When I reinstalled everything, like I couldn't get back into that groove of making crump beats anymore because I lost all my sounds.
Oh, yeah.
So
like
now,
your whole like packs and everything.
everything. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
have
I'd
no
give up. I
backup,
wouldn't even go back
nothing
into
at that
this
time. So
That means you
then,
didn't really want it.
yeah.
If you give up,
Nah,
that
if
means
I
you
gotta
didn't really
go
want
back
that
and
shit.
find all the packs, because you know how many packs is ass, and like you gotta try to sort
and
through.
I had collected them for years, like through meeting crump dancers who also make beats. They gave me their packs like on the spot at
Yeah.
sessions.
Oh, so
like
shit
you
like that,
can't
you're
even
not getting
re-download
that.
it.
you
Yeah, you're
can't
not getting
find that on
back.
the internet no more.
See,
you
so
know
I'm
what
switching
saying?
up the whole sound.
So I made a couple beats, and when I would play them, they'd be like, "Yo, these sound like rap beats." We were like, "Yo, we might as well just start rapping on our own stuff."
Yeah, well, yeah,
And
so
that-
it's 2011.
This is like 2011. So at this point now, we switched. 2010, 2011, we
Mhm.
switched full time, just making beats. And we were writing, we were recording, we were putting out songs, blah, blah, blah. And then one day it hit me like, yo, I'm listening to these beats more to like critique them than to
Than
write
really-
to them.
Mhm.
I would have a beat on loop for 2 hours and not write anything. Just
Yeah.
like, I would have done that bass a little different. That hi-hat's
So
a
you
little
thinking
too
producer
sharp.
first.
So then I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna do this anymore. I kept making beats. So like the last mixtape we put out, I think I did like 2 songs, maybe 3, but like I produced like 4 or 5 of the records instead.
Okay.
So then I switched, and then after that point, I was like, I'm not rapping no more. It's not for me. It's
So
not my
yeah, it
lane.
was never really a passion.
Nah. I did rap just because we were making beats and we wanted to do something with those beats.
Where
That's all it was.
So then from there, where did your producing
From
career
there,
came?
you know,
Go from there?
I kept producing. My first big placement came off of Wale's album, The Glass Egg. The album About Nothing. I
The album
produced the
About-
song, The Glass Egg, which we actually heard the sample in the store. And my fiance now was like, "Oh, you should sample this." And I
Wow.
remember I had a
That's some
studio in a
beautiful shit.
closet in our apartment in Dorchester, and I made the beat. And then, you know, long time goes by, maybe like a year or 2 goes by. Wale tweets like, "Oh, he has a show in Boston." He was like, "Who's the best producer engineer in Boston? We got a studio on the bus." I tweeted him like, "I am." I took a
And he
screenshot.
really like
I just
really moved on it.
did it. I took a screenshot, posted it on my Instagram, and was like, "Yo, go hit up Wale," and hopped on the train, leaving my co-op to head back to campus. I'm on the way to campus. I get off at Ruggles, check my phone. My Twitter's blown
Going
up,
up, yeah.
like 100+ notifications.
Yeah, never.
I'm like, "Yo, what is this?" I click it, and it's Wale replied like, "Yo, send me some beats."
Bro, you know how lit I be, my nigga?
Yeah, 'cause usually them shits don't even work. You know,
They
they
don't work.
They kind of just trying to like bring
What?
traction to their
Yeah.
post, so they like, yo, tag as many people, whatever.
Nah,
Like, yeah, for that to really work.
I think it was just like divine timing, bro. Like everyone went from Instagram to Twitter, tweeted him like, "Yo, hit up AyyDot, hit up AyyDot, hit up AyyDot."
Word.
He hit me back.
That's real.
I ran to campus, opened my laptop.
Hell
My
yeah,
SoundCloud
send
had
that
like
shit
4
out
beats on
quick.
it, bro. I sent him the link, but I was like, "Yo, I literally tweeted, keep refreshing the page. I'm
I'ma keep
uploading
reading
more."
Yeah.
And then he DM'd me like, "Yo, the beats are dope. Do you engineer?"
Mm.
I was like, "Yo, I'm not gonna lie. My engineering game wasn't good.
I'd
If,
lie,
if
though,
I
I
said
know.
yes and I go and I suck,
And
relationship dead."
Done. Yeah,
Mm.
that's a fact.
So I was like, "I don't, but I got someone."
That's important.
You give
And
them
he
a-
was like, "I
you give
bet
them a
my
solution.
cousin's gonna follow you and hit you up, and then we're gonna connect." I was like, "Cool." His cousin Vic followed me. We connected, and then I hit him up. I was like, "Yeah, I got the engineer. Let me know wherever you need us. We'll pull up." They never hit me back.
Damn.
I was like, "Damn." Then they left. They had to show Philly the next day. So I was like, "All right, it is what it is.
Catch them the next time around.
Catch him the next time." They dipped, and then say like 6 months later, Vic hits me back like, "Yo, Cuzzo liked them beat you were sending. He's working on his
Yeah.
album. Send some stuff. Here's my email." So I loaded Vic up with beats, like boom, boom, boom. So I just send them packs, and then nothing. One day I get
It really
No,
It'd
be
be like that,
that.
though.
It'd be like
you feel
that.
me? It'd be like that.
I get an email from Vic like, yo, send stems for this beat. It was it actually became the song Juggin' on the Festivus mixtape that came out years later. So I sent him the stems. And then one day they asked me for the stems for the glass egg.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, like at this point, now time has gone by. Vic hit me, was like, yo, Wale wants you to come out to New York. They lived out here in Jersey at the time.
And you
I
in
was
Boston
like,
at the time.
I was in Boston. I was like,
Still in
yeah.
school.
Nah, I was working now. This
Oh, you
is
was
like
working.
my,
Okay, got it.
my
Got it.
second job post grad.
Got it.
And I'm literally getting off the train at 7 a.m. South Station, walking to my job, and they're like, "Yo, yeah, send me your information, and we'll book your train ticket." I was like, I called my manager. I was like, "Yo, Perry, shout out to Perry Bills, man." I was like, "Yo, Perry, you know, I'm really into hip hop. Wale wants me to come out to New York, but like I know that's last minute. Like, is there any chance I get the day off?" He was like, "Go, man."
Wait, I'm not even asking for the
dope.
day. Yo, you.
That's dope. Nah, because like,
I mean,
that's
at
your
the end of the
job.
day, you got to come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
He told me go. I sent him my information. I text Kat
But what
like,
if he
yo,
said no? You not gonna go?
I'm
I
still
would have
going.
went. I would
Yeah,
have
like,
went.
it's
At
out,
that point,
it's
I
out of the
would've
job security respect. You feel me?
yeah.
Just letting you know, like,
Exactly.
yo, I got
That
some
nigga's
shit
not
going
stopping
on.
the
I'm
bag.
out. You feel
Nah.
me?
Yeah. So, you know, long story short, I came down to Jersey, went to the crib. Wale comes down. He was like, yo, they play you the joint for the album? I was like, what are you talking about?
Whoa, yeah.
He was like, oh, pass me the aux. Plugged in, plays the glass egg. And I'm like, literally,
Like,
at
yeah,
this
this is
time,
real life.
Wale was my favorite rapper.
I remember that.
It wasn't like I was just a fan of him. Like, he was my favorite
I
rapper.
remember like when we went on the cruise in 2014.
Oh,
And
man.
I'm telling you, like, yo, I fuck with Wale too. And like niggas don't be putting respect on Wale's
Nah.
name at all. And for that to happen
It was-
right after that
man,
conversation, like
It was crazy. It was
that is
crazy.
crazy.
And then, I landed on the album and we just been connected since.
and it's an interesting story with the glass egg, right? Like about like swearing.
Yeah, the original song had said, the N-word and a couple other swears, and who we had to get the sample cleared by was like, nah, I don't want any swears in the song that samples me.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, cool, we're gonna have to change it. So he changed like every N-word to hitter and things
I
like
noticed
that.
that, yeah.
But then if you hear it at the end, when Macy Gray comes on and does that last part of the hook, I think it's not Macy Gray. I'm definitely butchering the name. But the artist that comes on at the end that does the hook, when she had did that for him, she swore in it. So what they did instead was they just cut the shit word out. You know what I'm
They just
saying?
like censored it, yeah.
Rather than switching the word because she wasn't gonna
She was
come back to the
already
studio
gone,
to do
yeah.
it. But he was ready to take the song off the album. I remember I went
Because
I
of
could have
that
risked the whole.
restriction.
yeah, bro. He flew me to LA, and like when we were like finalizing the album, like 2 weeks before the album came out, we're in the car and he's like on the phone. They're like, yo, they're not clearing it. He was like, yo, I don't like it with the way it sounds. Like it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound natural. Like he was bugging. And he's like, fuck, I'm just gonna take it off the album. And I'm in the back.
You
seat
sitting
of-
there
I'm
like,
in the
nah,
back seat
bro,
of the
like,
Uber,
keep that shit on the album, yo.
I'm like, yo, it don't even sound that bad, bro.
Yeah.
It sound bad to you because you know, but nobody knows. Bro. Like it's straight. Like,
Hitting, bro.
you know what I mean, same thing with Girls on Drugs. Like, you know what I mean, he was heated about that, but it's part
Oh,
of
it's
the
the
game.
same situation.
Yeah.
So like, we will get back to it, but I really want to ask like both of y'all, like, how do you guys go about dealing with samples and beats when it's such a
Well, I was
headache?
gonna ask him that because like I feel like I'm not in a position in my career yet where it's like this is holding me back. You know what I
Right.
mean, where it's like I could get sued and shit like that. I'm not worried about that right now.
You want that one
But,
hit,
like,
You do want the hit.
That's a good problem to have. You feel me?
It is. For me, based on the numbers that I got for the Glass Egg, because I sampled Isaac Hayes, he sampled Emile LaRue.
That's already a fucking slope.
Yeah.
Like,
now you like the 7th, 8th
Between the
person
two of
paid.
us, we own 4% of that song.
That's crazy.
While they owned like 3, I own 1.
wow.
Wait, and then how much? And just because they like
Just because
this
I
tiny
sam-
little sample,
Bruh.
they just get
Isaac
to say-
Hayes took from the production side. I lost when you bring it down, when you split it now into songwriting and the actual production. And the production, I own 6% of what I did. Right? He took.
He just gets to
he
take all
took
the credit.
all of
Yo,
that.
that is a scam, bro. Like,
It's a scam.
Wow.
So that's why now I started working with loop makers that I sample other people that are producers that are making original stuff. And a lot of them now do vocals and then their samples and stuff where it sounds like it's a sample.
yeah.
You might not have like a connection to the song. Like that's why sampling
That's
old
why I think
songs
sampling
important
is beautiful. Like
because
when
the
you can
artist
find
will
the
have a
origin
connection.
of the song.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Like you'll hear if you go back and listen to Wale albums, 80% of the album is sampled because Wale's very big on music history. So when he hears a sample with a song that immediately connects to him, you got the placement immediately. All you need to do is execute on the drums when it drops. That's it. And that's why all of his hit singles are samples. Because someone made the right beat, he heard the right sample, or he sent that sample to someone, and that was it. Like Dearly Beloved on his new album. Have you heard that?
No.
The same
Jamie
album that has
Foxx one.
Sumi on it, or is this a new?
The new album they put out,
I'm
the
not
latest
hip.
one.
I'm
not hip.
not
He got a song on there that my homie Marseille Reason produced, which I was in the studio when he heard it for the first time. It was a Jamie Foxx sample from the Jamie Foxx show when he's like singing to the shorty like Dearly Beloved, and he's playing the piano. My homie cut that up, had somebody add pianos on it, put drums on it. While they heard it in the studio, started writing to it immediately. He was like, oh, this is going to be big.
Yeah.
It came out on the album, no drums, sample piano, a minute and a half long.
So he didn't even really use what
he didn't use it.
But, so does that even still count as a placement?
Yeah, it's a placement. He chopped the sample,
okay.
the other dude.
Yeah, he
added
to it.
He's
Yeah,
on
he
the
added
credit.
to it.
Like,
Yeah, that's a
that's all
fact.
that matters, right?
That's a
Yeah,
fact.
you know what I'm saying? But it's
That's
like,
true.
he heard the sample. He knew the show. He knew that exact moment in the show. He was immediately able to write a song about it. And it's like, everyone's blowing him up on Twitter. Like, can you make the song longer? Please make it longer, make it longer, make it longer. And he's like, nah, that's all you get.
So with Glass Tech, how much did that change your life? Like, did it change your perspective on producing? Did it give you a new fire? Like, you know what I mean? To be close to such a industry artist, or, you know, explain that.
It's kind of tough, right? Because like, if I could take the relationship with Wale and never have produced the Glass Egg, I think my drive as a producer would have been way more.
So you're saying you'd be even hungrier,
Yeah,
if you didn't get that place.
and like the crazy part is that I didn't get a crazy bag from that song. You know what I'm saying? Especially because of how much money they took.
You ever look back and try to like calculate, like, if I didn't sample it, I probably would have made this much off the joint?
You can drive yourself crazy doing shit like that.
Yeah, you'll definitely go crazy. But it was an album cut at the end of the day,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't like a lead single or anything, but like it got good streams.
But it's worth checking out for sure. Like, that's a
Yeah.
hard song. That's a I enjoy that song, like the way he's rapping and everything.
I mean, the album went gold, so you know it was worth something.
Of course.
But it was like, you know,
The whole Seinfeld, you know, connection and everything. But yeah,
I think I would have pushed myself more as a producer because like that for next year after that placement came out, I felt like I put in no work.
do you feel
You would think it'd be the reverse though. You would think that I got my placement, I'm going.
do you feel like you was like riding on that success?
I was trying to like bring in people because now it's like, all right, I didn't make money off this song, but it's gonna bring me so much people. I started thinking about money more than the music, and that threw me off.
Let me ask you this: at this point, what is the business side of things looking like? Do you have a manager? Did you know like
No
business
manager.
etiquette in terms of like, yo, making sure my splits are right?
I knew about the industry enough to have the conversation, but the label is like, we're not talking to you without a lawyer. Go get a lawyer. We're not doing this.
Why didn't you get a lawyer?
Cause like I you know what I mean? I was like, yo, send me the contract. I know a couple people that work in law. I
know some
I know a couple people.
Yeah.
But they were like, nah, like we need a lawyer. So I hit up Wale's people. I was like, yo, do y'all have anyone? Like, I don't have one. I didn't want to just pick a random person off the internet. They were like, yeah, we got someone that's worked with like producers and people that we know. So she came in and she actually did a great job. Like I didn't have a sound exchange deal in it where like, you know, they collect a lot of the online streaming royalties, right? Like with the letter of direction. So she did good work, got the contract changed, like upped my percentage, and it was cool. I was like, all right, word. But then after that, like, you know, I didn't get another placement. So like the communication with her died. Like I remember emailing her like, yo, like I never got my contract, the signed copy back from the label. Like,
So
what do
how
I
close
do?
was that to like being a thing? Like you signing under the label?
Well, with signing with Wale?
Well, you're saying this label. I don't know what the label is called, but
Oh, so he was under Atlantic at this time, right? So Atlantic sent me the contract for the song.
yeah.
I sent it to the lawyer. Lawyer reviews it, sends it back to me. I signed. We send it to Atlantic. Atlantic approved. But then they never send me back the signed copy. So, but they sent me my check. Like a lot of producers have like a horror story of not getting paid. Atlantic paid me within like 2 months of the album being out. I had my check. I was like, word, I'm good. And then a company called the administration hit me up about like, yo, we can collect your royalties for you for 10%. And I was like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
by myself. So what's 10%? What's 100% of nothing
Yeah.
versus
No
10% of
bullshit.
what I would get?
No bullshit.
So I did it. So they did it, and I started getting the checks. I was like, all right, cool, I'm good. Long story short, that letter of direction that she got added for me, that's where the real streaming money is. After 3 years, anything they've collected up to that point into the future is gone.
And now it's all yours. Now it goes.
And because I never got the letter and never registered the song under Sound Exchange, I lost potentially everything that was there. So I don't know how much money I lost off that song.
Yeah, no, I forgot where I heard it, but like there is a organization that like actually manages all those royalties
Sound
that no one
Exchange.
has collected.
Yeah.
And it's just millions and
Just sitting
who
there.
knows? It might be billions of dollars. Like,
Right.
and they might just be waiting for the rights to go away and then just like
Yeah.
take
It's a
down.
collection.
shit.
Yeah.
It's a real nasty game.
Shit sounds like a headache.
Yeah.
That's
No.
what I'm hearing. Like,
That's
it's like, yo,
what
there's so
I
much
can only
to
imagine
this
like,
shit.
how much fun that takes out of actually music creating. Because like you said, you stop thinking about like, yo, I'm just making this to put it out into the universe. This is my art
Yep.
type shit. And you start thinking about like the finances of it.
Yep.
So, take us from there. So now you saying you don't seem as hungry as you were a year later from that, even though this is like the biggest placement you've had at the time.
Right.
And does that hunger ever come back?
It does when I start working again with my peers.
Mm.
Like I started working heavy with Khalif. I was like, yo, let me use this shine from Wale to try to bring up the people around me.
Yeah.
So I started just working with people in Boston, Khalif, Hefe Replay, you know what I mean? Like anyone who was in the scene at the time, like I started connecting with them and working with them. Like this was at this same exact time is when Tim LaRue did something called 12 for 12.
And he's, I don't
Tim
know.
LaRue is
He's in a
Stizz's
relationship
manager.
with Cousin Stiz. Okay, yeah.
Tim's pretty much, I wouldn't say he started the music scene, but he put the fire in the Boston music scene.
Okay.
You think it really like the Boston music scene really got popping with Stiz?
I think in our generation.
Stiz was a result of everything that happened after Tim did this 12 for 12, where he brought 12 rappers, 12 producers, promoted an event, producers plugged in on the aux and played, a rapper hopped on the mic. And
Right there on
that
the spot.
event was crazy, bro. Like right on Newberry Street, everyone popped out. And after that, people were like,
What year is this?
this was 2013,
13,
2012, 2013,
Yeah, 'cause I'm
2013,
listening to these
yeah.
stories. I'm thinking it's
I'm
crazy
thinking-
because it's like we're in the Boston music scene now, and it's a lot different than
All of
No,
this
for sure.
came from
No.
something like
Yeah,
G.O.D. was one of the first people who
G.O.D.
translated good music into a big fan base. Like me, G.O.D. I knew, again, from crumping. We both used to crump at Jubilee Church.
Crazy.
And then he started rapping. But he was smart about, he had Chef Boys, right? Kind of like what Van Buren's doing now with their group.
like a
Chef
collab.
Boys was what was back then. And what they did was that he brought his music to that community of people he already knew in the church. So now those kids in the church were in high school. So they started spreading G.O.D.'s music in high school. He used to go by
So
the
they
name Big
doing
D. And
Yo,
then
he's
he
really
changed
like
it.
See, this is real Boston history right
Bro,
now. You feel
like,
me?
I'm
Like,
telling you,
I didn't know any of this
This
shit.
music scene that we see now with like Millyz, Stiz, like all of this came from something. And
course.
I really give the credit to Tim LaRue. I think what he did for Boston at that time is what brought up Stiz and brought up all these artists. You know what I'm saying?
We was just talking about it off camera, when we were setting up and all that, like lateral connection.
Yeah.
Like, that is so important. Like work with the people around you and build that up rather than chasing people who, seem like they're popping from a distance and all that, but it's like you have no connection to them.
And those aren't real connections. They're not
You feel me?
organic. Those people
It could
don't
become,
actually.
it could become real, but like, you feel me? Like,
But how likely are you to like read your
That's the
DMs
thing. The problem-
and like
it's not
really
likely.
take someone seriously?
No, I'm not-
It doesn't matter how talented they are, but if it's not an encounter they really remember, like
not-
you're just gonna
Yeah.
fall to
Nah,
the
yeah.
wayside with everybody else who's doing the same shit.
Right.
But have you been keeping track of what the Boston music scene is now?
I know a few people.
You got some people you bumping.
There's one kid who I just found out about recently, Tyler Loyal. I don't even know if he's from Boston. Is he from Boston, the Boston area?
I think he's from, I know you're talking about. He's kind of like a singer slash
singer
rapper.
slash rapper,
yeah.
like
I
almost
can't
party
remember where
next
he's
door.
from. I can't
But he's
remember where
nice. I think like someone posted him, like DJ E Double probably posted him or something, and I clicked it, And I was like, I was in the gym one morning. I was like, yo, I need something to listen to because music is terrible right now. And I was like, I remember seeing like just that cover art for something. And I was like, I searched his name because it was like very easy to remember. And I played the album in the gym and I'm like, yo, this kid's nice. So then I was like, I'm going to give it another spin. On the way to work, I listened to it. In the office, and I realized that I had his album on repeat from 6 a.m. when I was in the gym to like 1 p.m. Like nonstop.
So you had
So I was like, all right.
This dude's nice.
I like his music. Yeah. And then he just dropped a new song and I was like, all right, let me see if he can keep it up. And the new song is fire. So I was like, all right, cool. I like this kid. I don't know if he's from Boston, but I found out about him through Boston people. So, you know, Millyz, I listen to a lot, especially in the gym. Like I just love, and me and Millyz connected early as well. That was when he got me another big name. Him and Yves did a record on a beat that I gave Millyz.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
So you have a relationship with him too. Okay.
And that's all from that early Boston scene.
Oh, he's a part of that early Boston scene. Okay.
Yeah. I connected on him just because like he knew my name because of the whole early Boston scene and producing for like Khalif and Replay and people like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I connected with him, sent him some beats. I never heard anything. And then I sold
the life of the producer. You feel me?
So the record he has out is called As a Man. It's him and Yves. That beat that I sent him, I had sent to my boy Coca, who was with City Boys from Brockton. Coca, he passed away recently, right? So Coca sent me a record, him an international show, and I was like, yo, this record's fire. That same week, Millyz hits me like, yo, you got the stems for this? Me and Yves got a record on this.
So now you got to hit your man's like, yo, that was fire.
Drop this shit.
But I sold the beat to Coca for cash exclusively to the point he went to Western Union. You know, street dudes don't got debit cards. Yeah. He went to Western Union and sent me money in New York. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, yo, Millyz, like, so I sold the beat. And he was like, yo, what are we going to do? I was like, yo, let me reproduce it. So I like reverse the sample.
Imagine buying an exclusive beat and the nigga reproduces it.
Bro, like, you gotta do what you gotta do, nigga.
Reverse the sample, blah, 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 added like some Trump whatever on it. Like I redid it, sent it to him, and he was like,
word.
It lost a little bit of the feel, but I still like this. This is still hard. I was like, all right, word. Then I sent the record to Coca. I was like, yo, like, you know what I mean? I explained the situation. He was like, yo, you my guy. Like, that's straight. Like, do your thing.
That's real.
And then the Coca record never dropped. I still have it, which I might put on my album. But like, you know what I'm saying? Millyz record came out, and now it's like, I told Millyz, I was like, yo, I wish we could just drop the song again with the original beat, but like, I have way too much respect for Coca, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, that's something that we could have done, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to keep that Coca song and hold that.
So you just mentioned, you just dropped something right there. Let me pick it up real quick. You said an album.
I'm it.
Yeah.
So you working on an album?
I'm trying to put something together. It's hard because like, I'm trying to do this with all of the lateral connections I have, right? Yeah. A lot of Massachusetts artists. But it's like being in New York, expecting someone to go out of their way to book a studio in Boston, to write to the beat, record it, send it back to me. It's hard, right? So like I got a couple people that have studios at home, like Mike Weich. I got a few artists that I probably got like 6 records already that I got that I could put on the album. But it's like to really get that going, I would just have to come to Massachusetts for like a month. Lock in, book a studio, and just have people pull up, and we just bang out records.
So from what you're saying, I feel like you prefer that then. Like being in the studio with the artists and actually building with them.
Absolutely.
You know, I see producers all the time. Like you could go on Producer Grind, whatever, platform. You got niggas who are talking about like, yo, like, I'd rather just send the beat out, let them do what they want to do, because, I don't like being in the studio with them. I don't like being in the scene. Or it's like, you got people like you where it's like, nah, I'm there to craft their sound.
Right.
You feel me? I want to be next to them and build that up.
Because sometimes, bro, like, you send somebody a beat, you don't know in what environment they're going to listen to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can send somebody the beat. They could be walking down Soho right now, email from Yves.
And then put it right to their ear.
Boom. All right, I'm going to peep these when I get home. They get home and they never open the email again. Yeah. And now they get a beat. Somebody else calls them like, yo, pull up to the studio. Your email is forgotten. That even happens with Wale. Like, I send him stuff and I track all my emails. No shame.
This nigga put me on to that shit. The email tracking, man.
I track all of them with no shame. Just to see, like, just to make sure, like, you got it.
They revisit it. You know what I mean?
If they revisit it, then I'll send them a text like, yo, let me know if you fucking with any of those beats. You know what I'm saying? And they'll be like, yo, I actually really like this one. I was just listening to it. to them, it seems like divine timing. To
Yeah.
me, it's like, I know.
Yeah,
I
I know.
got
Yeah,
that alert.
I
You open it,
paying
what you
attention.
mean? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
nah, I can imagine because that's tough. Because as producers, like y'all sending out beats, and then sometimes people are just sitting on them,
Yep,
and then sometimes they never use them,
never.
and then sometimes you're gonna just send out the same beat to a couple artists, and
I was about to say,
You
how long
never-
you wait?
To hit people up after I
Never
send?
hit them up. It's like, yo, I'm about to just send it to someone else.
Honestly, I send whatever to everybody.
Mm.
I'm not gonna sit here and produce 10 beats and be like, okay,
just for this,
these
person.
are for
Yeah.
Wale only. Nah, I'm gonna produce them. I might send them to Wale the same day I make them, but then if I'm putting a pack together for someone else, I'll be like, oh, yeah, I think this fits them. I'm gonna send it.
Send it to.
And then it comes back what it comes back to. Like if Wale comes back like, yo, I use this beat and I had already told someone else, I would be like, yo, I can't let you have that. But I will do everything in my power to get you another one that fits
Mhm.
whatever record you already have.
I hear that.
How
You know what I'm saying?
important is it to like make sure you're green light in the music that's on your beats?
We were also talking about this.
He was,
Mm.
yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I don't really upload beats online.
Mm-hmm.
It's because like as much as you want
As much people,
as much people to use you for exposure, not all good exposure, not all exposure is good.
because now your
You know what I'm
name's
saying?
tied to something that you don't
Yeah.
even co-sign.
Because someone could go on YouTube and type in AyyDot, and then by chance, some random artist is ranking higher than my actual YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So you click that and you're like, oh, who's this artist he works with? You're gonna hear a whack song, you're gonna be like, oh, nah, he just works for
Fuck this
anybody.
nigga.
Yeah, with anybody. Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And now that taints your image. So it's like, so now I try to curate who I work with based on if I don't like your music,
I'm
like
just,
personally,
Mhm.
I don't listen to it. There's no reason you should be on my beat.
I respect it. I think that's how
That's
it
real
should be.
shit.
It's just a little tough when like you got relationships with
Right.
these people, and nobody likes to hear that.
Of course,
know,
You
but
gotta hold niggas accountable though.
you do.
It ain't it. It ain't it.
I see. He's under the boat that he's on the boat of like everybody can improve. You
I
feel
do
me?
believe that.
Yes, it's
You're
true.
on the boat. Well, it sounds like I just got out of there once I didn't see it for myself.
But I think most people lack that sense of, yo, I don't have this in me. Maybe this is not for me. People think there's people who really suck at what they do,
Mm-hmm.
but think that, yo, this
They're
is
mad
fire. And anyone who opposes them, no, you just a
You're
hater.
bugging.
You a
Yeah,
hater.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? But
The
it's
thing
truth.
is too, right? They gotta want it. That's the difference. The people that we're speaking on, I'm like, no, they can get better and all that shit because they want to. They have
Mhm.
desire to get the feedback and be like, what can I do to get better type shit.
Right.
If you're not trying to hear that shit, there's nothing I can do for you. I'm
I'm
moving
also
on.
on the boat. If you got it, you got it. You feel me? Cause like
Nigga, at one point in time, you didn't have it. Fair
no,
to
but
say?
I also like was improving like with every every song. Like there's a difference
that's what
between
we're
the
talking
first
about,
song I
though.
might have showed
Right.
you and like the most recent one. Like you see.
How long did that take? That's like 10
I
plus
feel
years.
like I always had a pen, bro.
Bro.
I had like a little nigga voice. You feel me? My balls ain't drop all the way. So like when I was in high school, like obviously it sounded like squeaky music. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
But the writing was there, and then we found the voice, and then from there we solid.
Mm.
That's what it is.
But I'm curious to like know your take on just like how do you feel about just the scene in hip hop right now?
I'm not happy with it.
Because it's not giving me encouraging signs
No.
personally.
No, because like I see it as like, first things first, every producer listens to a song for the first time with producer ears.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Right?
fact, bro.
As
Real
a-
shit.
You know what I mean? As a producer, for example,
My brain don't work like that, but like, yeah.
this Nicki Minaj Lil Baby record.
Mm-hmm.
Just
What's it
terrible,
called? What's it
yo.
called? We got a problem? We have a
forget
problem?
the name.
something like that.
Yeah.
Something. I was like, oh, Baby's been killing every song he's been on.
Facts.
If Nicki's bringing Baby out, this is about to be hard.
Wait, he didn't kill his verse?
I don't have a problem with his verse.
I don't have a
but,
problem with his verse.
All right. So
It's not his
as long
song.
as we acknowledge like
feature.
he's not
So,
the
you know what
issue.
I'm saying? He's not the issue.
All right.
So first things first, I play the song,
You
and I'm listening
on
with
Spotify or
producer
YouTube?
ears. Apple Music.
Okay, so you didn't watch the video.
No,
Oh,
no,
I
no,
didn't-
Because
no,
the
I
video is
didn't
like a
know.
whole like 9-minute like short.
There's a
movie.
whole other thing about videos. Videos will make a bad song.
Seem better
Decent.
than that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
You
And that's
know
why I
who's
never
really good
watch
at
a
that?
video first.
Travis Scott.
Yes.
The last couple of years, his visuals have been fire.
Songs
But then you really
made.
listen to the song, it's like, yo, what am I
Yeah.
really listening to for real?
Yeah.
So now you tie that song every time you hear it back to watching that music video.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a false sense of, you know what I mean, like judgment on the song. Like you
Mhm.
really don't like the song. You like the video, but now you're going to tolerate the song because it reminds you of the video.
And now you've listened to it enough times. Now you're convinced the song is
Right.
good. Yeah.
Like this,
That's right.
think about it. There's songs out there that you know word from start to finish, and you've never played the record on your own. Tell me I'm lying.
That's like all these hit songs. Like
Yeah.
I ain't never listened to Lil
Yeah.
Nas X Champions.
No,
but like
I know it from start to finish.
yeah, it's not industry, baby. Yeah.
Industry,
Whatever
yeah.
it is, yeah.
The Gallus song by what's his name? The dude from New York that blew up on the
Gallus
record.
song.
Yeah.
I'm not hip.
You not hip? What's his name?
You said it's called what?
It's literally called Gallus.
Gallus.
Yeah.
Gallus. Yes, I know that
What
song.
You know what
I
I'm
don't
talking
know
about.
that
Mad like Tory remixed that song.
Seen her, she came with a
Yeah, hold on. I got it.
I'm not
man.
in the mix.
Capella Gray.
Yes.
Great.
Like
Play that
that
shit real
song,
quick.
it song's hard. I love it now.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never played that song on my own phone.
Mm.
It's on New York radio so much, you can't avoid it. So I know that song from start to finish. It come on at a party, I go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But
Even though
it's
you
never played
personally
off my
played.
phone.
That's how I felt about Pop Smoke at first. I wasn't a fan at first. You feel me?
Yeah.
Everyone's playing that shit. And it's like, all right. Eventually I was sitting there, I was like, nah, I get it though. I don't know if I brainwashed
I
myself
didn't think
to
I got
eventually
it
get it.
until the album.
The
Once
album?
the album dropped, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he's not a one-trick pony. Like, oh, he could really have. He has
Nah,
versatility.
Yeah.
There's New York music, living in New York, when New York music come out,
Mm-hmm. And it's hot now.
you don't have a chance of not liking it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's gonna be everywhere
They
you
gonna
go,
ride for them.
right? And Pop was out before COVID hit.
Yeah.
So I remember the last event I went to before March 2020, we went out at like some bar, like the spot in Brooklyn for like a party for my girl's birthday. And when Pop Smoke came on, this was like March 9th, 2020, right? Like early pandemic, like things
got
were
the
about to get
exact
crazy
date,
within
yeah.
a week. Pop Smoke came on, that place shut down. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, that's where New York was. Every car that drove by, you heard Pop Smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Every single car. So then you're like, yo, who is this dude? I remember hearing his voice for the first time on the radio. And I was like, damn, like, what? His voice is deep.
No bullshit.
Yeah, facts.
And I went and I played his music in the gym. Bro, I was in there like,
I can imagine. Yeah, like the gym's the right spot for that.
oh man.
bullshit.
From there, I was hooked. I was like, I'm a fan.
And now there's like a whole New York got a sound now. They had a sound like
New
in
York's
the
always had a
90s,
sound,
everything,
yeah.
but then it died. Like, you know what I mean? Because then
The
there was the
boom bap
criticism
phase
of like,
died.
yeah, boom back, and like people still trying to keep the New York sound going, but it was just dead at that point. But then they brought back with the drill beats, and now they,
A Boogie brought like a certain
That whole
sound to
melodic
New York,
sound
the
too.
melodic sound.
Hey,
Yeah.
Boogie.
I'm gonna get
Yeah, I
back to the
forgot
Nicki
about
joint,
Boogie.
right? I want to give it
yeah.
back, but real quick, it's like, do you feel pressure like when you do, you look outside and they're bumping this type of music, they're
Never.
bumping this type
You
of
asking
beat?
me or you asking him?
Either one, but I am directing it to her. Like, do you feel influenced to have to like, I gotta make some shit like this. I gotta make some UK drill, beats, because that's what everybody want.
Yeah, of course. So it's like, I'm not going to feel like I can't do what I want, but it's like, I should have a couple of these in the tuck. Because if I go to a studio in New York and Fabio Foreign pulls up, I don't want to miss an opportunity because, I'm not going to go make drill beats because I'm not from whatever neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I'm going to have some in the arsenal and I'm going to make sure when I make them sound like me. And that's how I started doing R&B drill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did that. People were like, oh, this is weird. And then I put out a record with an artist from Miami, a Latin artist, did an R&B
remember
drill
that.
record, right? And it came out and we had it up on the billboard in Times Square. Like, it was crazy, right? It was like, oh, word, new sound. And then it kind of like went down, like, because the song didn't really blow, like Spotify playlist didn't pick it up, nothing like that. But it still had good streams. She was performing it all over every Latin TV station, right? But then it was like, it died down. And then, I don't know if y'all know Nyjah. She's like,
Queen Naja?
nah, there's like she's real short songwriter, wrote for Ariana Grande, Beyonce, everybody.
Nah, not familiar, but
She started making her own music. And then I had sent her some R&B drill joints off of like a tweet. I was like, yo, I think like this could be a good sound. She DM'd me, blah, blah, followed me, sent her some joints. She's like, yo, these are hard. Months later, she put out an R&B drill joint. Twitter went crazy for it. Now she dropped her album with that song on it. And as an independent artist, first album out, she was top 10 on iTunes charts.
Damn.
Just based on how much streams and attention that R&B drill 1 minute snippet she put up went. So I was like,
And
imagine
you're
if
claiming
that.
That's you. That's you.
I don't know if it
R&B
was me,
drill.
because I got the idea where someone literally just took a R&B song, like a 90s song, and just dubbed it over a another
drill.
song, a
Yeah.
drill song, and then I was like, yo, that can actually be a sound.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? Like I have a producer who sends me loops, Samuel Lee Jones, like very melodic, very dope sound and stuff. And one of them was in 140 BPM, and I was like, I'm gonna throw some drill over this.
That's that spot, yeah.
Right? And then I was like, oh, this is hard. So I made like maybe like 10, 15 of them, and then just kept them in the tuck. But you know what I mean? Like,
all that to say, like you added your own little twist
Right.
to it, so it doesn't sound like what everybody else is doing. Because
Exactly.
we went to the club one night and literally every nigga hopping on the stage.
Yeah.
Fucking the
Oh, you
same
talking about the show?
fucking
Really?
beat, bro.
Yeah.
It's the same beat. Like it
drill records.
Yes, just a whole bunch of drill
Yeah.
beats. And how different can they really be? You know, like they all kind of have.
It's the same hi-hat pattern, same snare
Yeah.
pattern. They throw in a couple rolls in there, you know what I'm saying?
No,
And then the 808s, like in that 808 glide, like halfway through the song, you're tired of hearing it.
mhm.
It's so repetitive.
It's very repetitive, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
So back to the Nicki joint. What was your issue with that?
Okay, so the beat came on, one instrument, whatever, some type of
I don't
strings it
remember.
was.
I
I
only
think
heard it one
something.
time through.
And I know of the producer Papi Yer. The moment I heard his tag, I was like, oh, he did that same joint for Tory Lanez that went crazy, which was very simple. One melody, hard drums. That was it.
Yeah.
And the record took off for Tory.
Mhm.
So I was like, as soon as I heard his tag, I was like, I hope this is not a copy of the Tory joint.
And it was.
It was exactly that.
Hmm.
It looked like he took the Tory project, played a different melody on a different sound, changed the tempo, and maybe readjusted the drums. Because there was a couple pockets where like the beat hit a certain way.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, that's a cool little bounce. But it was like, okay, now I hate the beat already. Boom. So now Nicki comes in. I'm like, Nicki will kill a verse.
She ain't do it
And
this
I was
time.
like, it was underwhelming. I was like, what is this?
The melodic part, I ain't mind. Like,
Yeah.
do whatever you got to do.
Like
you know,
the
it's
rap
a single.
was.
The rapping, I mean,
Personally, I feel like that shit didn't even sound like it was glued together.
Nah.
It sounded like her verse was laid down and then they just put a beat behind it, rather
Yeah,
than like
yeah.
she was recording over the beat
Mhm.
type shit. You feel me?
And that happens, you know. Sometimes, you know, things happen.
but this is the single that you coming back with.
Right.
So it's like I do expect a little bit more, carefulness with the one that you did retire.
Yep.
And now you're
Had a
coming back.
baby,
You got the
came
little
back.
baby feature on there. I'm
Lil
expecting it to, hit all the, I don't know, just hit all the bells,
the check
whatever.
marks
Yeah,
type
all the
shit,
check
yeah.
marks, whatever the case is. And I don't know.
I like clicking into hashtags when new songs come out, right? When the artists put out a hashtag and things like that. And in that hashtag, you see a lot of the barbs on Twitter.
Defending it.
Mm.
Really?
No, really? I seen the YouTube comments. It was like the queen is back.
Yeah, the
blah,
comments.
Blah, blah.
How many people are actively logged into YouTube that are not involved in music on their phones? Like the people who are logged into YouTube are tapped in to whoever they're listening
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
Most people have a Gmail, but like
Shit.
as soon as YouTube says sign in, they just cancel out of it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So like you really get engagement from Twitter threads. And I was seeing a lot of barbs saying like, I love Nicki, but I don't know.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and
Yeah,
but
nah, that shit
obviously
is not
there's
good,
other people
yo.
that are like, yo, no, this is fire.
They might have been speaking for Lil Baby. Might have been.
Yeah, maybe. I
Yeah.
think Lil Baby, if Lil Baby wasn't on that song,
Oh, we're not even talking about it.
no one talks about it.
Yeah, facts. Cause he's been on a roll. But what does that say to you, like about just the bigger landscape of where we're at in music? Cause like, I'll bring this up, right? I'll bring up another song. The Benny song. What was it called? John Caddy something.
With Cole.
With Cole. Basically, yeah, it's the one with Cole on it. And Benny's gonna do what Benny does,
Always.
of course.
Butcher.
And then Cole comes in, and he's saluting. He said he the butcher. And he has his whole verse about niggas is lying in the game. Like
Yep.
I don't feel comfortable lying like y'all. Like and just kind of in the drug related bars and everything, all that. And I be having the same issue too. And mine is more of an artist related thing. Like just we gotta be more creative with the music. Like
Yeah, for sure.
niggas is real repetitive with this shit. But I'm curious to know like what do you find
I think music's lazy right now.
real lazy?
I think people are real lazy with music right now.
So
Is it-
now, is it, what are you about to say? I think I'm about to say the same shit.
Because is it laziness or is it just everybody used to quick money and
I was
everybody
going to
just
bring it
wants some
somewhere
quick
else.
money?
I was going to say, is it a byproduct of the consumer market and people pushing, where the sound is going towards? Or is it more
Mhm.
so this shit is becoming too accessible and there's not enough skilled people who are pushing this shit?
Might be all three.
Yeah, honestly.
Mm.
All of it. All of the above.
All the
Check 'em
accessibility.
all.
Because like it's a beautiful thing that, you know, FL can open the doors.
Anyone can
and, like,
download that shit.
everybody,
you know,
is,
that's
you
a
know,
fact.
everybody could be, but not everybody should be a rapper. But like, that's what's cool. And everybody's
cool.
gonna, you know, give their chance at it. And, you know, before, there's more gatekeeping going on. You know, you gotta make sure your shit hot, pass the CD over to the exec or whatever the case. But now you notice anybody could blow up.
Anybody.
And now the thinking isn't like, oh, I gotta be the best rapper.
Yeah.
I just gotta be better than that guy.
Yeah.
Like literally, like
if
I see Lil
Yeah,
Yachty
better,
blow
popular.
up,
more popular.
if Playboy Cardi is mumbling on the track and he could get away with that,
shit hard,
I'm
though.
doing it. It's hard, but it's not hard when 30,000 other people start
But
doing the same
I think the
shit.
problem too is though, like, at the end of the day, it's all trends. You feel me? And we were speaking about this before. People think following it into the trend is gonna get them success. But there's already a person who already started it, who's already doing it, and the likelihood of you being bigger than them is very, very, very low.
Yeah.
You feel
It's
me?
too late. The moment it hits radio, that means that there's already 10 people lined up ready to go next. You're now 300,000 in line for that sound.
Yeah.
You're too late. By the time it hits radio and you're like, oh, I'm going to start doing that, you're too late. Unless by chance you do it and it goes viral. Now your spot in that line jumps up, right?
Yeah.
Now
But
you
the
might be
longevity's
the
not
next
there.
one. But then that's it. What happens when the
longevity's not
next
there.
person puts out a new sound? What are you going to do? Say, oh, I'm going to go do that now?
Yeah.
I'm going to do this? You know what I'm saying?
You're just
Like,
gonna keep riding on waves, exactly. And
not
like,
everyone could be Drake.
I mean,
That's a high bar though.
Huh?
That's a very, very high
Nah,
bar.
but I think I was gonna say if there any credit goes to Drake for being able to like find that
Like that.
trend before everybody else does.
And that's what he's really good at.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like Drake's hopping on the wave. It
Looks
looks
like
like he's
giving
introducing
an
the
eyes,
wave.
like
Yeah.
bringing all these eyes to the
Right.
wave, you know. But I mean, to be able to even develop your own sound, that starts with the beats, though.
It
I
does.
believe that.
Yeah.
You know, so if we're all making the same shit, like how far can we really push
How
it?
can we push an artist further? Yeah.
You know, and it only gets worse because, like you said, now the consumers is driving the music now because they're telling us, and it's even the social media platforms too, but they're telling us we don't want 3 verses on a song no more. We don't want the song to be more than 3 minutes. Fuck 3 minutes. We actually just want the
2:30.
best 40 seconds. We want the hook, and we want to make a cool dance to it, and we want to
And get
make
it
it
out.
trend on TikTok. TikTok got its own streaming
Yeah.
numbers. Like, that's crazy how much, you know, that's shifted the music industry, and it's also shifted just like society in general, the way we're moving. Everybody got short attention spans. Everything's happening on it's for the internet.
Right.
It's not for real life. It's not for the benefit of real life. It's to boost what you got going on the internet. And like, you know, how does that how much has really changed, like from when you started to now? How do you speak on it? How do you feel about that?
I think when I first started making music, you would listen to an album and be like, wow, this is developed. Concept.
That same feeling
You
no
don't
more.
skip
You
it.
don't get that
you don't
feeling no
get
more.
that no more,
You
bro.
click on number 1 because they meant to
That's
put that
meant to be number
the
1.
intro, you know?
Song number 2 is meant to be there. Now, like
unless you're
the
like
cover art, it starts with the cover art. Lazy. People are photo of this, slap a parental advisory
Pregnant-
logo on.
Wait,
it.
you're telling me
emojis,
9 pregnant
you know what
emojis
I mean?
isn't a hardcover, bro?
Nah. Nah.
You're not
Fucking
telling me
Dondo's
just a
screen.
You know
black
what's crazy?
square?
What if that cover was a foreshadow to Rihanna?
Nah.
That's not hard. Nah, because it's 9 of them. Like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't want to get back
I don't
to
know.
that.
It was weird. That cover, but like the cover art's been lazy. The producers are not putting as much effort into the beats anymore because artists don't want overdeveloped songs. They don't want overproduced
Like you're saying,
songs.
simple is better in a way.
Yeah, simple is key now, right? Less is more. And then now, because the beat doesn't challenge the artist, as long as the artist finds a pocket to ride for their flow, they're just gonna write whatever.
Yeah.
There's no concept, right? They're not thinking about a concept when they hear
It's
those
just
simple
sad that
beats.
everybody feels like they pulling from the same word bank, you know?
Yeah.
Drake go here, pop a perk here, lean here,
Yeah,
whatever it
you know what I'm
is.
saying? Throw a couple
Spin
designer
the block
clothes
here,
in there.
you know, like put some brands.
Ops
in.
over here.
Yeah.
It's,
You know,
So let me ask you
my
this, right?
jeweler.
We're all playing the same. They're all playing with the same bingo card.
Exactly.
Does that change how you want your place to be in this industry moving
Absolutely.
forward?
Absolutely.
Do you want to be part of this industry?
Like, do you feel like you want to be
Honestly,
in this much longer?
Ideally, for me right now, 2 things I want to do. I want to get into movie syncs, show syncs,
Mm.
and I want to tap into the Latin market, right? I want to start working with reggae and reggaeton artists and
Just the international world.
the international world, because like they still care for music.
Mm.
They're still putting effort in the music. The beats that come like
Giving up on hip hop.
I just feel like hip hop is lazy right
It's-
now.
yeah.
Like it's just like I sit at my computer and make a beat, and it's like, all right, I like this beat. This beat's good. Good melody, good structure, nice drums. I got a switch up in there. Effort done.
Word.
And then I turn on the radio and I hear, and I'm like, bro.
But like, and I be telling Rob this all the time. I feel like if anything, that's just making it easier for us to shine. You feel me? When
No,
we're really, you don't
because
think so?
they don't want to hear what we're doing now.
But you don't think you could build up a cult following and just have your audience?
Yes. But that cult fault, but that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna stick to your own sound and be like, nah, I'm not conforming to what the sound is, you need to be working laterally with people, right?
Yeah.
That way y'all blow up together. Because if you two put out a song together and it hits 1 million streams, that's 1 million streams divided by 2, right? Whereas if you get a song to Drake, that song is going to the label.
I'll be like the 90th person.
Drake,
That's just touching Birdman a
40,
little bit.
Birdman.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Shout out Birdman, shout out Wayne.
and then now it's like, I know people who got Drake records, Grammy nominations, and still working 9 to 5.
It's not as lavish as
Whereas I see people who worked with a local artist, blew up with that local artist. Now they travel together and living a good life.
But I think that speaks for just society as a whole. Like, you know, that's less attractive. Being the guy who just got, you know, that real super core fan group, but he's not popping like that. His music's not charting like that, but he's making money and you
Like
just
Currency.
don't see it. Currency is a good example.
I was about to bring him up.
Yeah.
You know, compared to a guy who's signed to the label, he's got all these hit songs, you know, they blown up on TikTok or whatever the case is, but they're not lasting. And it's just here today, gone tomorrow. But it looks. But look,
Right.
he looked like he you know, he got the chains on and
Right.
everything. He looked like he played a part. But
What you mean by that? He got the chains on. What you
I'm
trying
just
to-
saying, like, yeah, bro, it's all for image. Like this is the society we in. This is the metaverse. You know what I mean? Where you buy a pair of kicks and you more excited to post it on Instagram than to actually like rock it. You know what I mean? Because imagine like, that's just where we.
Yeah,
where we're
the
at with it.
metaverse is a whole nother conversation, and like
NFTs, all that
Do you-
shit.
NFTs.
Do you
all
think it's
that.
important for us to jump in? Like,
I have
Bro,
very
it's
strong
a scam.
opinions about NFTs, and
you want to rap the music? I mean, you want to
I-
stick with the music first?
I mean,
and then we can
I
get to
mean,
it?
we got to a lot about the music,
Mhm.
right? I'm AyyDot, you know what I mean? I produce, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
nah,
that's
check
me.
the shit out.
But
for
like, you
real.
know what I'm saying? Like, the NFT market, man. And there's going to be there's
Because
a
my
lot
thing
of
is
people.
this, right? I'm sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
but my thing is this, right? It's like I'm very wary of this shit because it just like you hear the concept and it's like, so why does that have value? But I also don't want to be that guy who's like, nah, I'm not hopping on Instagram.
Well,
That's for the
right,
little
right,
niggas,
right.
and then you get lost. And
Right.
like, you
I
know
think
what I
you
mean?
mentioned this before. Though, why does anything have value? Why does paper, cash,
Nah, but this
fiat money
idea
have
don't sound valid.
No, but like,
Where
what
I
do you mean?
buy like a digital asset that
Bro, it's gonna
anyone
have
can
value.
screenshot
It's gonna
or-
have value because the 1%ers, the niggas who are at the top of this shit, are gonna give it value.
Right.
And they're
I
gonna
mean, but what
force
if
us
they
to
jump
buy
out?
into
It's the
it.
same thing like with Bitcoin. Like when
When the whales jump.
when the whales exactly. So when they see an opportunity to make money, they're gonna invest all of it. They're gonna raise that price
For sure.
and then all the consumer
They're gonna chase after it and they're
buyers
already
are
out.
gonna, and then they're gonna take their money out,
It's
and that
fact.
shit's gonna plummet. How do you know that's not gonna be the same thing with
Right.
an NFT?
It is. I'm on your
It's-
side. We're
I
on the
mean,
same
it's
side.
exactly that.
You think so?
It's like, bro.
Bro, it's just a pyramid scheme, bro.
I think
Twitter's on it.
the technology behind the NFT, like digital ownership,
Mhm.
is amazing.
The concept is dope.
The concept's amazing, but the people who are the early adopters that are out there pushing it now with these like profile picture projects,
That's the biggest one.
Are-
Yeah, facts.
those are the scammers.
That's a fact.
There's no value in the artwork they're doing, but what they're doing is they pay. First of all, the people selling the NFT aren't even the artist.
That's a fact.
They're paying someone like on Fiverr.com to
Make that
create
shit.
the images for them,
Yeah.
and then they get these people to whitelist under them, right? I'm gonna
exactly
give you
what it
first
is.
access.
Yeah.
They mint all of the pictures, get them up into the blockchain, and then it's like, yo, now every single one of us go out and
Push it.
promote the
Yeah.
shit out of this.
Mm.
Let's get everyone in on this
And thing is,
and tell them the price is low. Everyone's gonna start buying
Mhm.
because we were first. We're gonna
They're
make
see,
money.
yeah.
it's a
They're
fact.
gonna try to go sell to their people.
And then
And while all that's happening, we keep going up. And at the end, we sell. And now the
Run
shit's
before they
worth.
find
That's
out.
yeah, it's
what's
like
happening, bro.
so you're saying
To me, at least.
NFTs are kind of similar to the way they manipulated Forex. Like you said, the technology behind it,
Forex,
it's solid, it makes sense.
Verve.
But then there's these groups that get on it, and it's not necessarily the business is not necessarily in Forex or the NFT. It's just convincing people to believe
sure.
in this thing
100%.
and, just,
Yeah.
100%.
and sell it to
I'm
their
even more
people.
mad that they're exploiting black people.
Yes.
You got a lot of rappers, you got a lot of
Oh, my
athletes
God.
who are changing their
We're getting
pictures and
checks for
shit.
this
You know,
shit,
you feel
yeah.
me? And I don't blame them.
They said that Eminem bought one of those
The monkey.
Bored monkey one, the Bored Apes?
Yeah,
no. They paid Eminem.
that's a fact.
Probably the price that they say Eminem bought it for, they probably paid him that to make it a profile picture. Why? Because that $400,000 or whatever they paid M to post that
is gonna make
probably
them-
made
His
them
audience is
$3
gonna
million.
flock towards that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then what? Like I saw something that happened in the gaming community, right? A bunch of like Fortnite competitive players, verified on Twitter, like great following, all started getting behind NFT projects and started promoting them. Like, hey, I just bought this NFT, a new profile picture. Because they got famous for Fortnite and competitive gaming, and now they're promoting NFTs, Twitter stripped their verified badge away
Really?
for going against the terms of service.
So wait, what are they violating? Because
Because
Twitter,
I don't know the story
they're
behind that.
promoting. Ultimately, Twitter called it a scheme. You're promoting to your followers who follow you for competitive gaming to go buy into something so that
So it's
you
going
can make
against what
profit.
they're verified for, essentially.
Yes. So they're like, you are no
see what you're
longer,
saying.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to stick to what you got verified
I
for.
didn't even know that.
wait,
Yeah.
but isn't that a little hypocritical if Twitter is telling me that I can have an NFT profile picture?
Yes. If you are in the NFT space, sure. But if you are verified as Young Rob the rapper, and now you start
But
only
I can't
tweeting
be
about
multidimensional.
Yeah, wait. So
It's
that sounds
one-
like a slippery slope. What if
it
I'm
is a slippery
LeBron
slope.
James and I'm LeBron James, the basketball player, but I start talking about politics and it's like, oh no.
But why do you think LeBron doesn't do that? They know this. People at that level, their PR people, their managers, they know that, hey, there's a fine line between what we can do to not affect your brand. Right? So
Which
the
is
moment
what
you
Enes
start
Kanter
tying
was saying.
yourself to these other things, people are gonna start looking at you like, wait, like who was it that got sued for this? For pump and dumping. I think was it Kim Kardashian?
I don't know anything about that.
I don't think it
But,
was-
like just
but
the idea of pumping dump. Yeah,
someone
facts.
famous is going through a lawsuit right now for hyping up some type of product. I don't know if
I know a
it's
lot
an
of
NFT
gamers
or
are going through that
something,
too.
right?
A lot of gamers are
Yeah,
going
Put
through
that on
that.
Kim
it's a
name. She's
pump
going
and
through
dump.
it. She's going through enough.
Yeah, she going through a
Listen,
lot.
it's a pump and dump.
But the pump and dump is part of the scheme. But again, the NFT space is amazing. There's great things that could come out of it. The metaverse, amazing things that could come out of it. Like you saw the NBA shit where you can put your Oculus
Shit,
on and
yeah,
watch
yeah,
the
that
real
shit's
game. Like
crazy.
you're at,
And
you know
from
what I'm
different
saying?
angles too. Like you could be
Shit
right
is
behind the
crazy.
player's
All of
heads
that
if you want.
technology is amazing, but these
Word.
profile picture people are
Ain't
literally
nothing.
scamming.
There's no way behind that shit.
That's my opinion.
So, do you think it's inevitable that we just make the shift as a society, or is this something that you feel like obviously it's a little too early?
It's gonna
to
happen
tell?
regardless.
Yeah. People are going to scam regardless. Eventually, the NFT space will grow more, especially in the metaverse. Because now, when you have your meta home, you know what I'm saying?
so fucking scared of the future.
You're gonna want some
Uh,
artwork in there. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go on OpenSea. You're gonna buy an actual piece of art by an actual artist,
Yeah.
and now you can display that in your meta crib. And
What
then
about
are you
your
gonna
meta
do?
drip? You know, you got
You
you
know what
see
I'm
your
saying?
meta
Like,
just
yo,
7.
niggas about to
like
have
a meta
families
Birkin, right?
and then their meta
Your
family,
meta-
bro. Like
your-
what the fuck?
You feel me? You can't just rock the essentials
Nah,
in
you
real
gotta
life. You
have
gotta,
the meta
you
joint.
shit gotta
Yeah.
replicate it in the metaverse.
Come on, man.
That's
Shit.
scary. Cause I remember you would share that tweet on your Instagram where, the guy was talking about how like before when it was just TVs, our attention was like 50% looking at screens or something like
Right.
that. And then with phones, it increased to like a larger percentage. And he was saying by the time like all of this like really gets into full force, will be 99% looking through a screen.
Yeah. Like when people ask me like, "Oh, what do you think about the metaverse?" I was like, the easiest example I can give you is imagine you're like, "Yo, I need to go food shopping," right?
Mhm.
You throw on your Oculus.
He's
You
just in
open
this-
the Amazon app. You're walking
Boom,
through
boom,
a
boom,
a
boom.
grocery store.
Mhm.
scan this. I need lettuce. I need that. Amazon Fresh delivers that to your crib in 12 hours.
Yeah.
That's some Wale shit, bro.
But it's like, it's convenient, right?
Mhm.
But that's what the future in all the movies and stuff was showing us. It's the convenience of life.
Of how lazy we get.
How lazy we'll become because the internet's going to give us
Yeah.
access to everything so fast. So when Facebook and Amazon come together to like, okay, we really going to push this? Like, I think the technology is going to go crazy. And that's what they're already preparing for, to me. That's what I feel like.
I mean, Jeff Bezos is already on some super
Jeff
villain
Bezos on
shit.
something. Look, the NBA is going to get behind the metaverse, giving you access to games. And then what they can do is they can say, you buy our NFT season
Subscription,
pass,
whatever. Oh, yeah, facts.
right? You get access to the view in the game. Or if you buy the higher tier one, you get a box seat. So now when you're in your box seat in the metaverse, you turn around and Jeff Bezos
might
is
be
there.
sitting right next to you.
know what
Might
I'm
be sitting
saying?
next to a
and
rapper.
now
yeah.
you can actually talk to them because you're both actively in that room, headsets connected.
So that nigga block you.
That
You're
net,
like,
and then now you
What is
get a
life,
network.
Yo,
You know
you
what
feel
I'm
me?
saying?
It's crazy. Like,
I mean,
you don't even know. It could be, you know, let me not
It's
get the
so
NSBA.
broad.
out
It
there's
can
here.
pros
go
and
so
cons in
many ways,
everything.
man.
You feel me? Like what you just said right there, I think that's a really dope pro.
Right.
You feel me? Like you look at what do they call it? Web 2, like social media.
Yeah.
And how, the world becomes a lot more connected. You could talk to someone in Japan just like that.
Yep.
In
And that's
minutes.
dope, yeah.
Mere minutes. To be in the same space, I don't even know, the virtual space, I guess is what you call it, as Jeff Bezos, is like, that's some crazy shit.
Like, you know what I mean? Like artists are going to start they'll build their own platform and then they'll be like, yo, we're selling NFT tickets to the concerts now. And now you go to the concert and you pay extra. You go backstage. You have a 20-minute segment where you're backstage.
You taking
in the
virtual
metaverse.
pictures with the
I'm about to shift it real quick though, right?
That's nuts. What's
It's
up?
so much money to be made.
I'm about to shift it real quick because with everything that we always seen, right? Black people are always at the bottom of shit.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How do we
get ahead of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like how do
need-
we not get exploited and how do we not get left out?
I got an idea. We had, we got an issue with music, right? There's too many. It's overpopulated. All right, all these, got black people focusing on the arts, and that's dope. Some of us need to be tech heads
On the business side,
Yo,
on the tech
like
side.
get on tech, like becoming an app developer, like
Yes.
knowing all that shit on the back end. That shit is important as
Yeah.
fuck. If we had people more people who were doing that, then we would have control of these these web infrastructures. And
But the problem is,
what's the
the
problem?
people that are like that, we tend to count them as weirdos and geeks and
Mm-hmm.
nerds and make fun of them
I
when
know,
really
I'm
you
a
should be
nerd.
embracing
I never
those
understood
people,
that shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember I seen a video of Jim Jones on some Smack DVD shit, like some 04 shit, and he's talking about Pharrell. He's like, oh, that skateboarding nigga? It's like, why you doing that? Like, why are you
Right.
trying to act like he's a different nigga just because he rides skateboards and shit?
Right.
You feel me? Like, I never
What are
understood
you
that
saying
shit.
here?
Angela Yee posted about 2 Chainz discussing his first metaverse
Yo,
appearance.
this is crazy.
It's coming,
This-
bro.
this-
It's coming. Because
That's
and the
nuts.
thing is that, right? So how do you build
Yeah.
anyone who has a brand and a following right now should be thinking about the metaverse and the NFT space, right? About how they can turn all those people that follow you and love you and support you. How can you turn that and flip that into something that works within the metaverse, right? So like now, instead of people subscribing to an email list to get
Mhm.
beats, right? You have them sign up for something in the metaverse, right? Where they
Like
can
an
get
open
access
studio
to
session space. or
Illmind
whatever.
did that. Did you see when Illmind did this?
Nah.
Like 2 years ago. Illmind built a metaverse studio
You said 2 years ago?
2 years ago. Illmind's always been ahead. And I've noticed that Illmind's been ahead because he studies what Gary Vee does. Gary Vee is always ahead, right? Illmind 2 years ago built a metaverse studio, sold tickets to people to virtually come in a studio with him and play beats over the metaverse.
Wait. How does that make sense? Because like the difference is in his studio, he's got real equipment blasting high quality music.
Yes.
And those people are with their Oculus, they listen to some regular ass headphones. How
Right.
can that replicate that sound?
it's
Why
more
would
so
you
the
even what's the
opportunity.
value?
It's more
think it's more
so
so
the
the opportunity.
opportunity, right? And then his Oculus could be connected to his speakers, right? So when they press play on their Oculus or however they're doing it, he hears it in his studio and then can unmute his mic and give them feedback. Like, yo, that's beat hard.
Even then-
You did this yourself? Send me some loops. Send me some beats.
Even then, like the logistics of it, like the sound, the mix, that could be changed. The concept, the actual idea of the beat, that's where the real talent is. You feel me?
Absolutely.
So I feel like
So what scares me is this, right? Because like this shit is inevitable. We're already
Yeah.
in the metaverse. We've been taking
That's
part in the metaverse
Yes.
for years. The moment you open up your Instagram, that's your like version. Yeah, that's your
Yep.
digital footprint.
Right.
But my thing, what scares me is that we're gonna disconnect from real life,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna stop like investing into like, you know, niggas might stop
Physical
taking
things.
showers, bro, because they fly,
So
they're
into the
fly
metaverse.
in
that
real
shit,
like
shit don't already happen, bro.
Right.
but
It-
it's only
it'll
gonna
just
be
become
more
more common.
extreme. It's just
Yeah.
gonna be a lot more extreme where people's like, yo, why do I like, yo, it's gonna be some foolery, some real catfish
Hey,
and shit
man.
where like, yo, the guy who has like 100 million whatever followers on this next platform that's gonna blow up in the metaverse, blah blah blah. But this nigga's a
Lives in
bum
a
in his
closet.
basement, like you feel like.
Right.
But his metaverse,
He's
he's
bro,
popping.
six.
Because
you said it-
he was
you
an
said it
early
yourself.
adopter. You know what I'm
know-
saying? Had all the resources. Now he looks rich in the metaverse, but lives a poor life. But that's what they said. Remember the same post that I put about like the 10 slides on Instagram? He talked about it's gonna get to the point where we value our digital assets more than
More.
our physical. So why am I gonna go pay a high rent to live somewhere nice when I could live in a shoebox, but my metaverse crib is nice as hell?
Nah, the
Because
moment that,
that's what
the
people
moment that
see.
starts happening,
What's that shit
I'm
called?
out. Right?
What's that
Like-
show called on Netflix, yo?
Black Mirror.
Black
yeah,
Mirror.
this some real Black Mirror
Black
shit.
Mirror
Nah.
shit, man. Hey? And then who was that? It might have been a fake headline, but they said that Elon Musk is trying to develop the chip that you could put in your brain to replay
I did see that.
your
I don't know if it
memories.
was real or not. I did see
Oh,
that.
that's
saw
some
that.
Black Mirror shit.
I don't know.
That's some
That's
I
Black
don't
Black
know.
Mirror, bro. Like, I hope we don't get there though. I don't want that.
Do you think we should just chill with like the ingenuity? Like, you feel me? Like
We've developed
we've
enough.
like kind of reached to a point where it's like, yo, I think if we just
Like electrical.
settle
We
down.
made it to electrical cars.
mhm.
We're good. We
We're
could
good.
still
No.
ride here for a little bit. We don't got, once
No
we make them
bullshit.
fly, that's when we know we've stepped into
Yeah,
the
we
next level.
you know, and but it's gonna keep going
It's
because
gonna
as
keep
long
going.
as there's a way for them to make money off this shit, they're gonna find a new $1 billion idea,
Of course.
and this is the new $1 billion idea, and it's scary because it's such a fresh idea and fresh concept that there's so much to build. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't even know how, you know, certain industries will be able to, but I can only imagine how every company is gonna try to find a way.
Oh, of
you know,
course. Of course.
Bank of America giving metaverse loans to, I don't know,
I
bro.
mean,
Like this
fuck
shit is
that.
crazy. Like,
But that's the thing, though. Like,
you don't know,
fuck
bro.
that.
Like you
like
don't know.
Bank of America goes in and buys a bunch of Ethereum, and they start loaning out that Ethereum on a high interest rate
rate, yeah.
in the metaverse. So now for you to, and then now imagine, like for example, my girl as an architect starts building metaverse homes.
Yo, you
and
gotta
you-
get her
you
on that right
paying her-
now. Nah, if I was you,
You know what I'm saying?
if I was you, I'd
Like,
get
that
her on
shit
that
was-
right now.
It's like yo,
Bro,
I'm telling
pan
you,
that shit.
like the metaverse is amazing. Like the concept of technology is amazing. NFT is amazing because then you can prove ownership of all of that. No one can rob your $1 million art in the
Yeah.
metaverse unless they steal it from your wallet, of course, right?
Or if you lose your wallet.
Or you lose your wallet.
That's
but
some other
like
shit.
no one could come into your crib and steal something that you paid cash for $1 million.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
But you
will
don't feel
always
like
have
there's
that.
certain things that just can't be replaced.
I think
What do
so.
you mean?
There's just certain feelings, certain things that just can't be replaced through the internet. Like I'm just eating. Like you can't replace that. Like, you know, like I don't know.
I know what you mean. I see what you mean.
Like I don't think we could go all the way, but
Nah.
what
So you mean like actual senses, like the sensation
Yeah.
of things?
yeah,
I feel you.
those things can't be replaced necessarily. Like there's no virtual sex, bro. Like that's just weird.
is,
bro.
though.
They didn't. What was that?
That
Was
that is,
Black
but it's
Mirror?
just like I would hope it
That
doesn't
was a
replace
Black Mirror
real.
episode.
Oh, those two
right?
niggas, right?
Yeah, this is crazy.
Oh
bro,
yeah, through the
right?
video game. Oh nah, yo, Black Mirror really yo. We need a
Yo,
new season for Black Mirror. There's a couple
Nigga,
shows
we're living the
We're
new
living in
season
it.
of Black
yeah,
Mirror, bro.
Yeah, honestly.
No bullshit.
Damn,
is
and I
crazy,
can
man.
appreciate an artist like Kanye who made that post and was
Yeah.
talking about like, yo, don't hit me
I'm
up on some
focused on
no
the
NFT
physical.
shit. I'm worried about real food,
Right.
real goods,
Real life.
real life. And I really, because the moment someone that influential hops into space, it's over. If
Right.
Drake decides to hop into the NFT space or the metaverse, it's over.
It's
'Cause
over.
That will change the music industry
Right.
forever.
Mhm.
Like Tory Lanez put out a NFT album which
Mhm.
sold 1 million copies in 57 seconds.
Yeah, bro.
That doesn't kind
what?
of make sense though. Like you have exclusive music. The only difference,
Right.
it doesn't make sense the moment that person decides to upload it to the internet.
It's dead.
Yeah.
But then it still goes back to who were the early adopters. Now, what Tory Lanez can do is say, if you can prove ownership of my first NFT album, you have backstage access to every physical concert I do for the rest of my career.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You show up to the concert, you have a VIP pass digitally in your OpenSea or your wallet that says, hey, I don't have to pay for this show because I own the NFT. You know what I mean? So there's certain aspects that come from it that are amazing.
That could really
but
be
just
dope. Yeah.
be careful what projects you get behind, because at the end of the day, most of the people currently are just trying to make a dollar.
Damn.
It's crazy.
And it's like, I don't want to be late to it, but I also don't want to just invest in my time into something that just like, it's not real. Like, I'm really about organic relationships, real life shit. That's why I stopped playing video games as much as I did. You know, Mark, like y'all, I used to fiend on the games, and I had to take a step back because it got to a point where it's like, niggas do not give a fuck about what my Call of Duty streak, bro. They don't give a fuck about my Madden team.
No.
They don't care how nice I am at FIFA. It don't matter, you know, but it is getting to a point where these virtual things do matter more in real life, and it's scary. But I really did want to come back, you know, while we still have time, like really understand, because I really feel like you can relate to this of just balancing, because you going to school, you have your degree, you have your job that you have while you're balancing music. And on top of that, you're about to get married.
Yes.
First of all, shout out to like, can we throw some applause? I know we don't got the headphones on.
Yeah, just clap it up in the room.
You got a bomb right there.
Real drink champ shit. You feel me? Nah, that's dope. How do you balance all that? Because I'm trying to figure out how to balance all that.
Honestly, it came with one, like I have an amazing partner who keeps me level-headed.
You said she found the sample.
She found the sample. She's always found it.
That's how you knew she was a keeper, right?
Like, for real, from day one. But like the balance comes from scheduling, right? Like I'd say, okay, what are the things I want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I work my job because it pays me tenfold what music gives me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be dumb to quit and be broke making music full time rather than making good money and still making music, right? It's not holding me back. If I wasn't able to make music at all, then I would reevaluate.
Mm-hmm.
But because I was able to schedule music, working out, and still spending time with my girl, I was like, okay, how do I make all that? I remember sitting down years ago on paper and writing, okay, what is my day-to-day gonna look like Monday through Friday? Wake up 5 a.m., go to the gym until 6. I don't start work till 9, so I'll shower, eat, and make beats from 6 to 8. Leave the crib at 8, be at work by 9, work 9 to 6. Because I made beats in the morning, when I get home, me and my girl get home at the same time, we get to chill, cook dinner together, lay in bed, watch Netflix, guilt-free. What did I accomplish today? I worked out, I made 2 to 3 beats in that 1 to 2 hours, and I got to chill with my girl. So I didn't compromise anything. You know what I'm saying? And then I did that. And from doing that, I stuck to it. And I was like, if I have to wake up early to make beats or stay up late to make beats, I'm going to do that because making beats is something I want to do.
All right, so and I completely understand. I do the same shit. I got a whole app called TickTick like that shit. I schedule my shit, and I did the same thing. I said, these are the aspects of my life. This is how my life is divided by, you know, music, the business, podcast, whatever the case is, and how do I balance all those things? But what I found is like, what's frustrating is like balancing it. First of all, extreme discipline. It takes extreme discipline
100%.
Because sometimes you don't feel like that. You just don't feel like doing it. But then what I ask myself a lot of times is like, yo, I wonder how this plan is gonna work out. This plan of trying to like do everything, and it's like you're kind of like the master nothing, jack of all trades, and you start to think like, okay, it makes sense. Like you said, like obviously I'm gonna work because this is what's gonna make me music. Like money's not. I mean, it's gonna make me money. Music's not what's making me money. So I'd be dumb not to follow this path. But at the same time, I kind of envy the producer or the artist who literally has nothing else to do but make music, and their hunger is a little bit more.
Right. What 2 things. What's worth sacrificing? And 2, the person that you envy, when you look at them a year ago, how much did things change for them?
It depends. Sometimes right? that shit.
Some people it's life-changing.
Back against the wall.
Some people it's not, right? And I think that's one of the things that was different for me, right? Is that like, I don't need music. I make music because I love making music. I don't need music to be successful in life, right? I feel like I got to a point in my career as an engineer that like I'm good. If I never made another beat or sold another beat, I'd be good going forward, right? I'm only gonna make more money, right? But I make music because I love it, and I think because of that, that's why I'm able to say I'm gonna wake up early to make beats because
Mhm.
I want to make
Wanna do
beats.
it,
I don't
yeah.
want the day to end without me making beats.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So
It's
it's
like, what did you say? You can enjoy those watching Netflix moments guilt free. That word guilt free,
Guilt-free.
because I know that feeling of like it don't feel right when you're doing like just fun shit or just doing chill shit when you
Right.
know you neglected some responsibilities.
Who was it that said that I'm not myself when I'm on vacation or something? I tweeted. Alex Tomei replied to me.
Mhm.
Someone said it in a song, and they were like something along the lines of "I'm not myself when I'm on vacation."
I don't know who
Because
said
you
it, but
can't
I
even
feel it.
enjoy it. Like you
I
can't
feel
even
that.
feel it.
Yeah.
You know, it don't feel right to just not do anything.
Right.
I hear that. I hear that.
But again, like just circling back, like if you want to make it work, you will. I think that no one should just quit and chase something 100% unless they have a plan in place. Like it would be very easy for me to say, I'm quitting my job. I'm going 100% producer right now, right? But then when I look at now my aspects of life, how am I helping provide at home?
Yeah, facts.
Am I gonna be the bum that relies on, not bum, but like, am I gonna be the man at home trying to make something work
Yeah.
with the stress on my back of rents due? You're not gonna be able to create right.
Mhm.
You're gonna always be creating for money and not creating for the love of it. So it's like you need to have a plan where if you don't want to work anymore, stop overspending, take 1 year, save up a year's worth of your bills, take a year off
And
work
grind
and
crazy.
grind for that 1 year, knowing
see
that
where that
all your
progress brought you.
responsibilities are
Yeah.
Taken
covered.
care of.
But now you have 1 year to focus, and now you put your back against the wall and you grind. You know what I'm saying? Like you do it,
Mhm.
and then see what that 1 year brings you. If it doesn't work, go back to the drawing board, get a job again,
Reevaluate. Yeah,
start
facts.
saving up, make a new plan. Like, all right, in the next 6 months, I'm gonna do this instead, or
That's real
maybe I
shit.
need to meet more people. Maybe it's not about the time I put into making beats; it's about who I'm
A
meeting
lot
and
of the
what am I
times
doing.
that's what it
And I
is.
hope you niggas know this is outside of just the music. This is some real life shit. Like
Real
in
talk.
general.
Real
Like
talk.
it's real shit.
Yeah, and that's kind of the conclusion I've come to. That's kind of how I came like to peace with it. That and it's the same thing. It's just like maybe my goal isn't necessarily to be the biggest artist. Though at the end of the day, I just want to put this art out, and what it does is what it does. But at the end of my life, I could look back and see I put work of art out
Right.
into the world, and it's gonna do whatever it does. Same thing with the podcast. You gonna put the episode out, whoever reaches is whoever reaches.
Right.
You know what I mean? Obviously, you're gonna try as hard as you can to push it, but like I said, it's that balance. It's making sure shit's good at home first, because there's only so long your girl's gonna hold you down while you still chasing dreams
I'm telling you,
before she's like,
she ain't
yo,
gonna give you the
this nigga
Nissan every
bum.
weekend, bro.
yeah, facts, you know.
You know what I'm
This
saying?
nigga's a bum. But
So
nah.
yeah, nah, I salute the way you've been able to balance it.
Thank you, bro.
I think like you definitely set that blueprint.
I'm just trying, man.
Because I'm not looking forward to starting the corporate job, bro, at all.
it's not bad, man. Like
It
it
is.
depends, right? It is because you feel like
Because
it's
your time
every
is
minute that
stripped away.
you're making the bigger man a dollar, you're like, damn, I could have been working on myself. Right?
Facts. That's why the pandemic was
But
so smooth. You
The
feel me?
pandemic was smooth because you were working from home,
Getting paid
getting paid,
by the government.
focusing on your craft. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But like, I've been fortunate with the jobs that I've had working in tech that I've been able to cook up at work.
Having that.
You know what I'm saying?
balance,
Like
work-life
I'm
balance.
at
That's
work,
a force,
my
yeah.
laptop's on the side. Even if I make one beat or I chop one sample, I did something at work.
Something, yeah.
Now when I
Refining-
get
refining the
home,
skill. Yeah, facts.
I can finish that and be like, I made extra today because the time that I allotted to being at work and focusing on work, I had some downtime
to do
and I
that.
was able to do it. When I had busier jobs where I couldn't do anything at my desk,
Mhm.
you can get a good idea or finish a beat in an hour. So there's no excuse.
So let me ask you this, all right? That plan that you just, brought up, like, oh, take that year to just save all your
Yep.
expenses and all that. Do you feel like if you were to do that, you could do bigger and better things as a producer? Or are you
100%.
not trying to take that?
I could do that.
To
If
yourself?
if I took right now a year's worth, saved up, and just I think the thing that I'm lacking right now is being around. I have the beats, I have the connections.
It's just about you trying to
I'm
get it
just
to as
not
many ears as
there.
possible. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I chill with Wale and like Wale come to New York and I pull up with him, I would think that we're just going to the studio. I'm gonna play him some beats. He's gonna start writing. While he's writing, I'll put my headphones on, make another beat.
Yeah.
Right? Normally that's what you would think. But I'll pull up on him. I'll play some beats. He'll start writing. He'll get a call from Cole. Yo, I'm at Electric Lady. Pull up. wrap up.
You
Yo, we'll
going
come
there.
back.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm sitting in the studio with T- and J. Cole, and I'm like, oh shit. And then we leave there. Oh, Amiri's doing a show. A Boogie's, pulling up to rep the new clothes. Like, let's pull up. Now we in there. 2 Chainz is there. A Boogie's there, and I'm like, yo, like
This is a real life experience right here.
this is one day that I spent with Wale.
Oh, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like we started before the studio, we started doing Joe Budden's podcast.
Oh,
It was that same
that
day.
episode you were
That
around.
I was there.
I remember listening to that.
Yeah,
Wale.
bro,
That's
like,
crazy.
That
That's-
in that.
You was in Park's crib?
No, it wasn't. It was that we rented a spot down.
Oh, okay.
It was like a 1-on-1 interview they did. It wasn't the pod. It was
was the
when Joe
pull-up.
was doing the pull up,
Oh,
the
okay.
interviews.
Yeah, okay.
So in that 24 hours that I spent with them, like look at all those opportunities I met. Like we went to
Oh, that
Atlantic
wonder, yeah.
and I was sitting there talking to A Boogie, but it was like I want to ask him for his email, but like
you
we're just
can't.
having like a man-to-man like regular conversation
Nah,
right
I've
now,
learned that.
non-music related.
I think we definitely
did
learned
learn
that
that.
lesson.
I
It's just
remember
like, yo, like
we
treat
took a
these people
bus.
like regular
you
people.
be that's it.
Yeah, like you
know what I'm
meet
saying?
these people in real life and like you put them on a pedestal and you just realize they're regular ass people and they don't like it when you do that shit
Right.
Because
too.
imagine
You know
how
what I
many
mean?
people are
The
doing
people
that
they
to them
remember
every
are
day.
the ones that treat them normal.
Have a real conversation.
For every person that meets an artist, oh, can I take a picture with you? Like, can I get you on my snap? Or they pull up with their phone out.
It's real short term.
That moment to them is forgotten
This
the
is a
moment
fan.
they turn away. You're
They're
a
not
fan.
looking at you as a colleague,
Nah.
as a peer, as a person looking at you as a fan.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mhm.
all
You
right.
pull up and you be like, oh, what's good, bro? How's life? You good? Word. They're gonna be like, wait, he's not asking me
you
for a
want nothing
picture.
from me?
He
Yeah.
like, and I mean, and then that's how it was at Atlantic. Like, A Boogie came, he had all his people with him, and I was like, oh, what's up, bro? I'm AyyDot. He was like, yeah, A Boogie. I was like, come on, man, I know. You know what I'm saying? And then that was it. And then I turned to the dude that had us at Atlantic there. I was talking to him, and we was just chatting like on some real life shit. That's why I didn't
sure
feel
that takes you
comfortable
farther.
at that moment being like, yo, can I get your email? Like, I want to send you some shit. Like, I was just like, you know what? I'll wait.
Mhm.
I'll
You
wait
can be-
until
if
the
you-
next time
If you're in
I
that
see him
room right
again.
now, you'll be in the same room again.
Exactly.
Feel me?
Right?
I hear
It'll
that.
find
That's
its
what it
way.
is.
It'll find its. That's
Right.
real. That's real. So what do you like? First of all, like I said, congrats. Getting
Yep.
married next month.
Yep.
Flying out
Next
to
month.
DR.
Yes, sir.
Yo, that sounds lit. You excited? You got any like?
This
any
nigga said,
jitters?
"Are you excited?"
Nah,
Of
like,
course
you
he's
got any
excited,
jitters,
nigga.
Like, you feel-
Nah, you know, it's
give some advice to the youngins. You know,
I'll tell you, like,
because
I've been with my girl now. March will be 11 years,
11 years,
right?
Awesome.
Met in college. We've been together since.
and that's a different conversation. Last week we were talking about what's it called? How long before you claim the girl,
Right,
and it's
right.
like how long you pop the question.
Claim is such
He
a
took his
funny way
time.
to describe.
I took my time because one, we were very open about the conversation about marriage and what we wanted in the future, and it was like, what's the point of us engaging and getting married now if we both don't have much to offer each other?
Mhm.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
real.
So it's like, yeah, I can propose to you right now. And like I'm not making much money. You're fresh out of college or doing your master's. Like, yeah, we could be married right now.
And the reality is,
But-
you be doing it for other people.
Right. Like what are we both gaining from that marriage? Right? It's nothing. We're gonna be married and then go through life struggles together. And because we're married, there's gonna be so much pressure that eventually we could end up splitting up.
Mhm.
Whereas we stayed together, we always lived together. So like that whole living together thing, we
You
got
think that's
that out
important?
very important.
Like you shouldn't marry someone until you live.
Nah,
I definitely believe that
that's-
too. Yeah.
And a lot of people think the opposite. You should marry then move in. No.
playing
I want to
yourself.
know
You're
who
setting
you are.
yourself
I want to
up.
know who
What?
you are. I want to
Yeah,
know
like you got
dirty,
all
you
the tendencies,
clean,
all
like-
that shit. Yeah.
because enough of something so minimal to them could be what breaks the straw that breaks the camel's back for you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yo, I'm tired of her leaving this shit on the sink, bro.
Yeah.
Like, every time I
You
come in the
wasn't raised
kitchen,
like that, you
there's
know?
a wet napkin on. There's the trash right there. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that will push you
Real
over the edge.
resentment.
You know what I'm saying? So living together, you find out about who you both really are.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The facade
luckily,
goes away, and you
yeah,
really
we were
just
able
see
to do that because we both lived on campus. So I was an RA, so like she would stay in my room sometimes. And when I graduated, I was staying out in her dorm, like being on campus on and off. You know what I'm saying? And long story short, like we learned each other and we discussed like, we both want to be at a certain point career-wise and financially and headspace wise before we do this. And that was 2020.
So yeah, when was it where everything just clicked and it's like, yo, this is the right time?
Like that, well,
Because he said 2020 sound like
2020,
middle of the
it was
pandemic.
middle of
This
the
is the
pandemic.
time. This is-
And because we were so open about the conversation, like I knew her prerequisites for the engagement, right? Every girl has things that they want to happen on that day. Their nails got to be done. Certain people got to be there. You know what I'm saying? It has to be not every girl wants to be proposed to in front of a crowd of 100 people. Some people want a one-on-one intimate thing. So you got to know who it is you're engaging. You know what I'm saying? And with her, it was, I need my mom, dad, sisters, my cousin who's like my sister. They all have to be there.
Yeah.
So I was like, how am I going to get these people from New York and Boston all in one location at the same time to do this? So I knew I wanted to do it, and we were planning it. And then maybe like April 2020, she was like, oh, we're going to go to Maine for my dad and my sister's birthday. It's something that we can do safe during the pandemic. It's only us. And we're going to invite my cousins from Boston so that they can come.
It sounds like a perfect idea.
She's telling me this, and I'm like, this is the time, bro.
Like, it couldn't line up any better than this.
It couldn't work out any better. So the next day, I hit up the jeweler.
I was about to say, when did you find out about the trip? You said April?
April.
And the trip was when?
August.
Oh, so you had a couple months to get everything in line.
I had a couple months. So immediately I hit up a jeweler because I know it takes time to make a ring.
Exactly.
So I started having the whole diamond conversation and cut clarity and, brilliance and all that stuff.
You doing this shit dolo? You got someone by size? You
dolo.
Like, help. Damn.
Dolo. But again, I already knew because of our communication, I already knew what the ring should or needed to look like, right? What she was hoping for.
Yeah.
So now I just needed to find a jeweler that can execute it,
on the idea.
Based on the idea, the budget, and, to get something nice. And then I did that, got the ring in like 2 months. So that's April, May. Like early June, I had the ring already. And it was like, all right. Her sister was like, oh, this is the house that we're renting. So I looked at it, I was like, all right, so we're going to do it right there on that little walkway. But then I was like, how am I going to get her there on that day? So then I was like, how am I going to make sure her nails are done? We're just going to a house to chill in the house and grill and be in the backyard. You know what I'm saying? So I involved her cousin, who's like her sister. And I was like, yo, like, Kat has to get her nails done. Like, I spoke to the whole family, got the permission from the mom, dad, the uncles, the aunts, spoke to everybody. And the cousin's like, I got you. So then I'm sitting there one day on the computer because we're working from home. The cousin FaceTimes and was like, oh, for the trip from Maine, like, we should get our nails done. It's been so long since we hung out. Like, we should have a day that we dress up. And she was like,
that's real.
She was like, that's weird. Like, why we're literally just chilling in the house. But okay, whatever. So she got her nails done. She got her hair did. And I was like, check. Everyone's going to be there. Check. I got the ring. Check. I know where I'm going to do it. Check. I was like, boom. And now it's time to execute.
Did she have any clue?
Not a single one, bro.
Wow.
And that's what was good about it. But
then,
like, I was like, okay, how do I get her from this house all the way to the waterfront to be on this like little like dock? Every vacation we go on, and we travel a lot, like I always bring a tripod so I can get pictures. So it's not normal for me to be like, yo, let's go take a picture. I got the tripod. So I set the tripod up, and instead of taking a picture, I put it on record. And then like I did it on the video, and I was able to get a 4K photo from the video and things like that with my camera.
Some real wholesome shit,
man. I'm taking lessons right now. Just taking notes. Like,
man.
Make
just
sure you gotta listen. Like, you gotta know.
Communication is key, bro.
You know that already, nigga.
We know that. That's a fact.
Yeah, man. That's that.
Yeah. Nah. Yo. First of all, thank you for having us.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, actually other way around. But nah, you had us come to your city.
In New York,
we had to, we had to show some love. And like I said, you're a person I really respect.
Appreciate that.
Like I said, you opened the door for me in music.
Even when I was doors, nigga.
Yeah, in fact, it really goes back, and the connection that you have to the early Boston culture and what we're doing with it now, and how we're trying to push it with Bad for the community. It's really just dope to see all these things come full circle. And I hope next couple of years everything's gonna change. I really do feel like that. Man. I feel like Boston has reached the point where it's boiling. And I think we're all on the same page of like, yeah, let's work together. Like you said, these lateral connections, like it's more important than ever. We don't got to go over here. The world is dumb small.
Yeah.
You don't got to go too far to make your city hot or whatever the case is.
Right.
So, and I'm also going to be taking notes on just balancing, the life, the music shit. Cause I'm going through that on the daily. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, man.
Any tips for the producers watching? We got St. Yves in the room, AyyDot in the room. Any advice for the?
I mean, this is a go right here, so I'm learning. You feel me? I'm sitting back, really just listening and observing.
I would just say, make what you want to hear. Don't feel like what's on the radio has to be what comes out of your speakers.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Just stick to your guns. If you go to a studio and play beats for an artist and they're like, nah, I don't like any of these, that's fine.
That's one
Those
person's
beats were
opinion.
not for them. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like some of the beats that I thought I hated, I played by mistake in a session and that was the one. You know what I'm saying? So
Be like
That's
that.
really how
You never
subjective
know.
music is. Yeah.
you never know. Just stick to it and you know what I mean? Just make what you want to hear.
That's a fact. And music will be a lot. Hip hop will be in a way better space if everybody just starts making the music that they want to create.
For
Not
sure.
what's hot, what everybody else
What's
is
gonna go
creating.
viral on TikTok and yada
Because
yada.
like I said, with that cold verse, it really seems like, yo, we're in a dark period of hip hop and it's
Yeah.
really make or break. We might see that resurgence where we start caring more, or we just might be making a joke out of this
For
culture
sure.
that we've cultivated for years and decades. But hey, it's been another episode of Bad for the Community.
Yes, sir.
If you're watching, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. You know, make sure you're tapping into AyyDot, see what he got going
Yes,
on.
sir.
And you know, keep watching. It's been a really good episode. You might have to run this back twice. You know,
Right.
we had a real great conversation on the metaverse
Yeah,
and
man, I'm
everything.
down, man.
Post wedding, no bullshit.
Post
Come back
wedding,
up,
yeah,
you know
see
what
how
I'm
much
saying?
of a
Let's
changed
do it,
man
bro.
you are.
Yeah.
You know, I'm with it.